Hello and a very good day everyone. So today we will learn dashboard, how we can create an Excel dashboard using Microsoft Excel. So if you look here in this data carefully, we do have cricket club, we have items, we have the type of the details, and then we have the respective financial year. So now what I'm going to do is I want to create a dashboard in the Microsoft Excel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use pivot table so that based on the pivot table, I can create some interesting visual. So what I do is, first step is I put my cursor on the data. I put my cursor on the data, and then second step is I will just press Ctrl A. So when I press Ctrl A, it will highlight the entire table. And then number 3 is I click insert, and number 4 I click pivot table. Okay, and then number 5, a box will appear. Okay, a box will appear, and then number 6, once the box appear, I press OK. So the moment I press OK, it will go to a new sheet. Okay, and then based on the new sheet, we can actually put the data accordingly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my cursor over here and I press Ctrl A. So the moment I press Ctrl A, it will highlight the entire data, and then I go to insert and I click pivot table. So the moment I click pivot table, a box will appear. So I'm going to press OK. So once I press OK, so you will notice there's a pivot table field over here, and we have gone to the new worksheet. So what I'm going to do is I want to tick all the years. Okay, I'm going to tick all the years. Okay, so these years appear, and then if you notice we have sum of. So what I'm going to do is I want to remove sum of. So I highlight all these, I press Ctrl H. So Ctrl H is replace. So I want to write sum of and replace with nothing, so replace all. So you'll notice it has made the replacement for 5 details. And then I'm going to close this and I put the values at the row so that it appear on the row, and then the item at the column. So now we have the details over here. So we have the revenue, we have the expenses, but we are not going to find the grand total. We want to find the profit. So what I'm going to do is I just want to remove the grand total. So I'll just put here grand total of row and column, and then I put my cursor at the revenue. I go to pivot table analyze, and then I go to fill item set. I will click on calculate item. So once I click calculate item, so now I want to calculate the profit. So I put here profit, and then what I do is I remove the 0, I select revenue, insert item, and then I put here minus, I select the expenses, I insert item, and I press add, and I press OK. So now we do have the profit. So profit is basically your revenue minus your expenses. Then what I do is I will select all these. I just press right click, and then I just choose format cells, and then I go to accounting, remove the no symbol to symbol to none, and then I press OK. Then what I do is, okay, based on this given data, I only want to find the profit. So what I do is I just click here. Instead of expenses and revenue, only we have the profit. So over here, we only have the profit only. So what I'm going to do next is I just want to create a chart from this data. So I click a pivot chart and I press OK. So now if you notice over here, this is the pivot chart. And then I'm going to press here right click and I press hide all field, and then I click this, I choose remove the legend, I remove the grid line, and I press data label. So now if you see here, we do have the numbers, but unfortunately this is a big numbers. Sometimes when we present to our manager, we cannot present big numbers because sometimes it's too big, too confusing, and it's taking up a lot of spaces. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select this y-axis, right click, and I go to format axis. So once I go to format axis, on your right hand side you have format axis, and I click here millions. So once I click millions, so now you see this is the data, and then I close this. Then what I do is I'll just create a new sheet. Okay, so I'll just press Ctrl G, T3, Ctrl Shift Home, merge and center. So this is where I'm going to put the title, and then I'm going to cut this and I want to put it over here. Okay, and let me just close this, let me just carry up to this column over here, and yep, there you go. So this is the data, and then I'll just remove this data over here, so now it's a bit bigger. And then what I'm going to do is I want to create a slicer. So I go to pivot chart analyze, I go to insert slicer, and I choose cricket club. I press OK. So once I press OK, so now we do have a slicer. So if you look here carefully, when I press Chennai Super Kings, we have a data like this. When I click Kolkata Knight Riders, we do have our data. When I click Mumbai Indians, this is our data. So when I clear filter, this is how our data looks. Next, what I'm going to do is I want to go to the sheet 1, and then I go to pivot table analyze, fill list, and I put the cricket club at the filter. So now it has on. So what I'm going to do is I want to create a dynamic presentation, meaning to say I just copy this. Okay, let me zoom this so that everyone can see the screen. Okay, so now if you look here carefully, we have a cricket club, we have all, and then we have here all as well. So I copy this and I paste it over here. Equal if all is equals to all, then I put here overall cricket clubs. Otherwise, it should be this data over here. So meaning to say, now I go to sheet 2. If I click here Chennai Super Kings and I go to sheet 1, it will be Chennai Super Kings. If just say I go to sheet 2, I click here Kolkata Knight Riders and I go to sheet 1, it will be Kolkata Knight Riders. But if just say I clear filter, now you'll notice that it will show me overall cricket club. So what I'm going to do is, I'll go here equal financial performance of, and I click this data over here. So I'll make it size as 29 and make it at the middle. Okay, so this data, so I'll just put it over here. So just say I click Chennai Super Kings, so we see the performance of financial performance of Chennai Super Kings. If I click Calcutta Knight Riders, we see the financial performance of Calcutta Knight Riders. If just say I click Royal Challengers Bangalore, so this is how the data looks like. If I click Rajasthan Royals, so this is how it looks like. So maybe I'll just make it smaller. Okay, 24. So if just say I click Royal Challengers Bangalore, so this is how the data looks like. Okay, if I clear the filter, so this is how the data looks like. Now what I'm going to do next is, I want to create another pivot table. So I'll just put it over here, home, and let me go this data over here. So let me just paste, let me make it smaller. Okay, clear filter so that all the data has appeared. So we have revenue, all these things, values I put here, and items I put here. So now we do have this data. What I'm going to do is I'll just put here equal into the revenue, so G5, and then I want to copy this and paste it over here. And then what I'm going to do is I'll just drag all this, Control R. So this is the data. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is copy this and paste it over here. Okay, so maybe I'll just, what I'm going to do, I'm going to highlight all this, Control X. Okay, and then paste it over here, Control R, make it at center, and this data over here, accounting format. So maybe I'll just change this data, I'll place downwards, I'll copy this. Okay, so expenses, we have it over here. Here I'll just change to negative, so this negative over here. Okay, so now it looks better. And then I'm going to write here profit slash loss. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put here equal revenue minus ABS absolute of these expenses over here. And then I'm going to select this, Control R, alternate HBU, and bold. So this thing also bold, and I'm going to put green color and white color font. Okay, so now this is the data. Control A, select the camera, and then I go to sheet 2, I draw over here. So now this is the data. So let me make it a bit bigger. Okay, there you go. So now if just say I click Chennai Super Kings. So when I click Chennai Super Kings, you will notice the profit is 3.66 million, 270,000 profit, and this is the data. But if just say I click Kolkata Knight Riders, so we do have the breakdown as well. So now what I'm going to do is I want to select the charts and I want to change it to green color. Okay, but if just say it is a loss, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to press right click, format data series, and then I go to fill pane and fill, and then write invert if negative. So that means it should be green color, red color. Okay, so red color, and these things over here I'll just put as black color and I put it bold. Okay, so this is the data, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this green color, white color font, bold, and this data over here, slicer, and I'm going to choose as green color as well. Okay, and then I just remove the lines. So alternate WVG, and I go here, alternate WVG. So just say now when I click Mumbai Indians, so first thing is we notice that this is the title changes, financial performance of Mumbai Indians, the graph changes, and we have the details, the breakdown, meaning to say if this is the profit, this is the breakdown on how they arrive to the profit. If just say I click Chennai Super Kings, so now this is the details. If I click here Royal Challengers Bangalore, so now this is the details. So if I click Mumbai Indians, so this is the information. Alright. So basically what we can learn is this is how we can create a dynamic presentation in just one view. So normally some managers, they want to see the big picture, the overall performance. We can actually use this where we have the trending and we also have the breakdown. Interestingly, with the help of Slicer, we can also create a interactive title and interactive presentation.